All right, hi everyone. It is me, Umber Rays, on still on vacation, but there's been how to put this. It's been a busy one. It's been really busy, as you noticed. Haven't really had any extra uploads. It's just because of travel and jet lag and all kinds of stuff. I have not been doing a ton of the extra videos uh, prior to the ones that I pre-recorded. So, yeah, today when you got my poll video with no extra dialogue, just music and polls, that's the best I could do for the time frame that I wanted to get that up and get that done, kind of thing. This was kind of what I could do, just where I'm recording, and yeah, I'm not going to make excuses. I'm also not going to accept complaints on that one. That's just the way it had to be when I was doing recording. But today we are going to be talking about the first of two new characters, and this is going to be a bit of a preview video, a thoughts video, and in terms of demonstration videos, those will be coming up shortly, but not right away, just because still on vacation. So let's start off with the big boy himself and a continuation in the trend of 100 cost New Year's characters being insanely good. And that's where I want to start with today. So Ruin Sterne evolved. He has become the Pidgeot of Pokemon, starting off as little ones. It's Stern to Ruin Stern to Wing Stern. And I think his full title is Winged Destiny Stern. But anyway, let's check out that limit burst animation while we talk about the basics. 100 cost light elemental character. Everybody, I think, was pretty excited about him being potentially fire. But if we're going to talk about a redemption arc, light makes a lot of sense for him just overall. And I think it's a good fit for him. Honestly, light needs something new. It needs a new direction. And I think Wing Stern here, just being an absolute powerhouse, is going to be taking them in that direction. So primary job is a brand new one, but we also have Paladin and Ninja, 3 move, 1 jump, 100 cost, not limited, armor, helmets, accessories, and regular swords. Not katanas, not great swords, just regular swords for this character. As for his TMR, you can check out the stats right here. But as for the ability on it, we are looking at Human Killer increased by 25 for 3 turns, which is a pretty big boost on physical attacks. It also has 2 casts, so you're going to get a lot of extra power out of your physical attacks, as well as Auto Restore at 5% for 3 turns. And this is pretty good just because we are able to get a lot of AP reduction in the rest of his kit, and we're going to see that very quickly. But yeah, this is a great TMR. I'm going to say that this is one of my more favorite ones. I mean, it gives him new armor, has pretty good stats across it, but Human Killer on physical attacks is exactly what we're looking for here, and is probably pretty good on a bunch of other characters, so like it. Master ability for our new Stern. Light ally stuff up as per usual. Attack for himself up 10%, decrease AP consumption by 10, and reaction block of 20, increasing him into reincarnation / stream ability will give him acquired AP increase of 30% for himself, as well as a AoE resistance of 10, while also giving him a bit of an upgraded skill. But since we haven't gotten into his skills yet, we're not going to talk about it. Either way, I think that this is already, just base looking at what this character could potentially become, a very, very strong and powerful base to this character. I mean, he just has a really, really strong get off the go with just a lot of power towards his physical attacks, and that's what he is. He is basically a frontline attacker. Now, as you can see, mine is here, but we want to take a look at a slightly better one. So let's jump in with, I can't remember which one. Ray Beam is magic, Ray Blade is physical. And you can get an idea for what he is going to be able to put out for stats. 7,600 HP, 1,587 attack. He also has a lot of light boosted attack from his visuals. As you can see, they've kind of built him as an evasion character, but I think that's is quite wrong. But, you know, Gumi makes mistakes all the time. 97 speed, 334 dexterity, and 476 for luck. Now, looking at his resistances, you can see a net positive here on basically everything. A lot of blind resistance, a lot of, not being able to move, a little bit of not being able to remove resistance, not a ton, but also charm resistance. So I like these for a physical attacker, such as this, but, you know, every character has a little bit of blind spot when it comes to status effects, but I like these overall for him. And light and dark natural resistance, an increase for slash, pierce, shooting, and magic with his current set of equipment. Now you can see he does have the Hermes sandals equipped. That is definitely an increased force speed for him. +6, haha, Gumi, as if most people have that. His brand new sword, which has 168 attack, an increase of slash attack resistance penetration, but also gives to these jobs the following benefits of AP consumption down by 15%, as well as human killer up by 10, which is pretty good. It's a pretty strong weapon that synergizes very well with his kit, as you would kind of expect at this point. All right, now I'm gonna try and bring this up properly, but I'm not quite on my computer at home, so this isn't super easy. All right, so let's head over and look at his skills. Taking a look at support, we have a lot of good choices right off the bat for this character, and I'm just trying to scooch over here. His two main ones give AoE resistance of 15 and defense penetration of 40, as well as a attack of 24% and an accuracy of 25. Looking at Paladin, he gets defense and HP. Looking at Ninja, he also gets the movement and jump increase, as well as the agility and luck increase. All of this is going to be important for how we're going to be potentially building this character. Looking at his counter, what do we got? Well, we got Paladin, which reduces physical damage. We have Ninja, which is a chance to poison. And his main one is Reflex, so a chance to counter all damage 15% by a 200% evading physical or magical damage. Basically means that Sterne is really, really good with this. And, you know, with potential increases in luck, off to a pretty nice start. Not being able to reaction block him will be a pain. He doesn't need to be an evasion character, but his counter will certainly let him get there sometimes. Now, scrolling down, Limit Burst increases his attack by 40% for himself, does increase his damage up to, does a 200% mod on a large AoE, only 49 AP, and that's getting decreased as well. Excuse me. Grants 42% speed increase for 3 turns, and a 200% chance to do a 20% physic damage for 3 turns. An incredibly powerful limit burst on every front, because you're looking at so many boosts for himself. It's already incredibly powerful, and it is not an incredibly high AP cost. Definitely reminds me of Sephiroth for how powerful this can be, mainly because we're just looking here at a lot of benefits, slightly different from Sephiroth, but still in the same category of power. Now, as for Ninja, granting him the chance of being targeted decreased, some extra slashing based attacks, move to unit panel, some damage, an interesting increased accuracy with a guaranteed critical hit, which is not a bad buff to run, as well as increasing his invasion by 60 for 2 turns. Now, if you are wanting to potentially continue going down the evasion route, here is my opinion. This new version of Sterne can do a light evasion comp and would fit in fairly well with a lot of the units that are already really good at it. But I don't think overall you should be considering this unit to be a very successful evasion unit, but he could potentially put up a bit of an effort there, but I don't think that's really what we want. Looking at Paladin, we get the stun ability, the heal, the increased defense and spirit, the increased chance of being targeted, increase max HP, and restore the HP raised by 20% for 3 turns for himself and allies, and the physical damage barrier with a increased critical evasion. Paladin seems like a nice fit for him since it allows him to get a barrier, increase his own HP, and potentially inflict stun. All of these things are really pretty good. Not incredible, but pretty nice. So looking at his main job, what do we have that is so good, and what are we giving up to potentially get there? Well, first of all, his basic attack is just a break physical barrier, which is great because that's what he wants as a DPS. Any DPS that doesn't have a break physical barrier and relies on someone else to do it always feels a little sad in my experience. So I'm quite happy to see this here, and it does get an upgrade into a extra increased hit chance, which means that he has a natural advantage against characters such as Wotv, who can get around 100% hit chances of characters such as Sephiroth. Increased agility as well as critical rate, which is a pretty nice thing because he's already DPS, and that combined with his potentially his limit burst is plenty of access to be one of the fastest characters, and that's why his overall agility from what you've seen so far without TMR runes is pretty fast, but not like whoa kind of thing. Now, looking down, we have a large AoE. Now, interestingly, this is a dual hit ability, 200% mod, which is pretty hard hitting, but also dispels auto revive and a 30% hit chance. Really just a incredibly strong AoE. Also has a increased reaction block rate of 50, which is a pretty good increase, including with what he has already. He can basically hit 70% without any extra help. AoE resistance, as well as restore 20 AP for himself, which is advantageous because he is decreasing AP so much. Looking at the rest of his kit, we have a kind of long-range AoE, which does decrease healing power by 40 and a 165 mod, but increases slash attack resistance penetration by 40 for 3 turns with a huge range on this thing. This ability is absolutely awesome. I love it. And is really a strong reason to get him into EX, even if there wasn't one already. Now, as for his job level 25, this is the granddaddy of his kit. Upgraded by getting into Reincarnation to cast 200% chance to auto-revive with 20% HP. When he auto-revives, he automatically casts another skill to give himself AP restoration as well as a CT restoration, much in the same way as Queen Macherie with a bit of a speed boost there. Increased slash attack by 25 for 3 turns, and accuracy by 30. Now, one other thing I failed to mention is the fact that one of his AoEs actually has an additional benefit, that if there are less targets, it actually increases the amount of damage that is done. Basically, if there were 3 targets in the affected area, well, it's kind of spreading out the damage a little bit. But if there's only 1 target, it actually increases the damage, which is a pretty cool effect and is pretty new for characters in this game. All right, as for the last 2 abilities he has in the main part of his kit, a dual hitter that also has a 25% chance to disable, and a damage ability in kind of a Astria style, what do we call this, cross style, that also decreases CT by 15 times. So honestly, here are my overall thoughts of Sterne, just to keep this video relatively short, and I promise we will get some demonstrations in the near future. Honestly, I think this character is absolutely insane. Reflex is always just a strong candidate and makes him kind of soft version of being an evasion character. Do I think he can be a successful evasion character? Not really, not so much with the equipment choices he has, but it doesn't really matter. With auto revive as well as access to barriers, barrier removal, this character very much feels like a new version of Flag Glassy with a better DPS options and absolutely scary in a lot of cases. he has so much in his kit that is just really good, and potential access of what is interesting in his kit too. Quite a few, or he does have access to some kits or some abilities, especially a physical barrier breaker that is non-elemental, and that's really important because Dark is going to be the toughest matchup for this character. And I think just having that kind of access to that kind of ability will allow him to get around some of the light elemental resistance that Sephiroth has been pushing. Now, do I think this character is the most insanely OP character ever in the game? Probably not, but me comparing him to Flag Glassy is a great, how do I say this? A really, really great. He's kind of like Sadali and Flag Glassy had a sword baby, basically being able to do some status effects, being able to auto revive himself a couple of times, decreased healing power, AoE resistance, reaction block, increased hit accuracy without needing 100% hit chances, as well as breaking barriers, access to heat modification for himself, either in the positive or negative category, haste for himself, permanent attack boosts, as well as secondary hit attacks. And, all of this on top of just being an absolutely top tier character. There really isn't too terribly much to say about this guy. And, looking at him right now, this is only the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to see once people start building him with TMR runes. This character is going to be everywhere for a good long time and is, one of those characters that's incredibly easy to recommend, because not only is he going to be good in PvP, he's going to be great in PvE too. Tons of speed, great access to a lot of flexibility with his support skills. What do I even say? He can get around other people's attacks, both physical and magical, which is very strong. Lots of AoEs, lots of damage, new things, barrier breakers. Fantastic character, top of the line, fully recommended. Don't know what else to say. Gonna go off and build mine. Look forward to testing videos in the near future. I have to go record a Roy video.